Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all doing? It's me, Dali Lyonga, aka Screen Goddess. You're welcome to another edition of Hall of Fame with Dali Lyonga Debate Special. It's that period where I get to show myself in all my glory. I want to give a shout out to my designer. Thank you, Marita West, for this beautiful piece. Though you're very costly, but then it's so worth every penny of mine. Now, if you're watching for the very first time, you're wondering what is Hall of Fame all about, honey? Now, this platform is a Cameroonian platform for Cameroonians and Africans. Yeah, we talk about entertainment. You know, we look at the way forward. We need to see how our artists, how our content creators, our creative can generate income. And of course, to get to know their behind the scenes, we want to know their challenges, their difficulties, the way forward, their plans, their project. This right here is that platform where artists tell us, in quotes, their underbelly. So if you're an anime boy, you want to know what your favorite artists are up to, you want to know the challenges, then Hall of Fame with Dali Lyonga is that platform for you. And today's the best special, and let's talk about royalties. Over time of our artists who talk about their challenges. A couple of weeks ago, Askia was here on this platform, and she told us that for more than 13 years, she has not made a dime as a rapper. And that sparked a lot of controversy on social media. People were wondering, people were asking, how come 13 years, no money? How is that possible? Well, we know there's royalties. What happens to streaming platforms, you know? Like all this and lots, Mahani, we're going to be talking about it on today's edition of Hall of Fame with Dali Lyonga Debate Special. So I urge you not to move from muscle, stay glued to your screen, because with me, I have two finest gentlemen, honey. One is a music business consultant. He is an artist manager, a PR. You know what? I don't want to blow his trumpet. He's going to tell us more about himself. And on the other hand, honey, is another fine man. It's my first time of seeing him. When he said he's coming on the platform, I literally screamed like, oh! Okay, it's coming, it's coming. Now, he is divine. He is the manager of Lion Production and lots more. So he's going to tell us all this and more about himself. But to kickstart today's program, honey, let's take a look at this lesson from one of our veteran artists. I'm talking about Tony Nobody, where he got to teach us why to him there is no showbiz in Cameroon, why to him most of our Cameroon artists are still very broke and penniless. Take a look. This might help a lot of you. Enjoy.
Dali Lyonga, may I ask you, really, you don't hear about for this Cameroon, say people that talk, say they get problem for auto right now. Nobody hear that. Vous avez entendu ça, non? En spectacle, maman, combien de spectacles un artiste fait au Cameroun? Prenons le plus grand artiste camerounais. C'est qui, selon vous? Petit pays? Parce que pour moi, c'est le plus grand artiste du Cameroun. Il n'y a pas deux. OK. Après petit pays, je vais prendre Stanley, non? OK. Petit pays a combien de spectacles à l'année qui peuvent lui donner 20 millions? Combien? Parce qu'il faut, pour avoir jet privé, pour avoir maison, château, they say that luxury life, okay? Forget that luxury life, you must get money. And forget money, you must get money about your work. This is the job of an artist. When you sing, you get auto rights, you get rights. When you sing where you go to this thing, when you have your good image, they endorse you. When you selling, you sell on streaming and other way of selling. Tu fais quoi? Maintenant, combien de spectacles? En termes d'endorsement, I beg, tell me, who be endorsed than my kid, Stanley Eno in Cameroon? Who? How many years? We count years and years. For Stanley Eno, Guinness, Banks, and so on. C'est pas une histoire de discussion. Il n'y a pas une histoire de discussion. Et pour moi encore, c'est petit. Ce genre d'endorsement qu'on fait au Cameroun, c'est tout. On doit endorser les gens tous les jours et beaucoup. Moi, je vous parle parce que je sais ce que veut dire les endorsements. Les endorsements du Cameroun, la plupart ne dépassent pas 80 millions de francs. OK? On a un souci. On a un problème. Quand je fais des endorsements, sur le streaming, alors, mais we talk about streaming. I've told you, en 2021, les 20 artistes camerounais les plus grands, 20 artistes camerounais les plus grands, 20, n'atteignaient pas en une semaine l'argent qu'un grand artiste nigérian, à ces Camerounais. Ce qu'il atteignait, ce qu'il avait lui, en un jour. OK? Je reprends même, je vais corriger. Je te prends, hein, en 2021. Ça, c'est le petit David Lessouga qui l'avait dit. 20 artistes camerounais, ok, n'avaient pas l'argent qu'un artiste nigérian, lui, il avait, ok. Pendant au moins une semaine, l'artiste camerounais nigérien avait ce que, en un an, les 20 artistes camerounais ne pouvaient pas faire. Do you understand? When I show this, you can tell me that we are doing, we get which kind of market, which kind of industry. Our industry is low, c'est petit, c'est lent. Et ce n'est pas que ça ne va pas increase. What I'm saying is not that we will just sit there like that until no. Donc, dans les Lyonga, nous avons un problème, c'est que je ne suis pas un sabitou. Non. Je veux seulement attirer l'attention, c'est que les droits d'auteur, justement, ok, il faudrait qu'on gère le problème des droits d'auteur au Cameroun. Moi, par exemple, je suis obligé d'être inscrit chez BMI. BMI qui est comme l'assassin. Je suis obligé d'être inscrit chez BMI par l'aide de Music Embassies de ma petite sœur Jessica Ngon, qui est représentante de Music Embassies au Cameroun. OK? Pour que mes œuvres soient très très bien distribuées et que je puisse avoir les droits d'auteur. Pourquoi je suis obligé d'aller faire ça, Lyonga? Il faut que tu sois concentré. Pourquoi je suis obligé? Il y a d'abord une loi de réciprocité. Do you understand? Au Cameroun, on a des difficultés. C'est-à-dire, ma musique joue au Nigeria. J'ai du mal à ce que mon argent arrive au Cameroun et qu'on me le donne. Ma musique peut jouer dans les films nigérians, dans les films américains. On a un problème. La Sonacam devait être capable de jouer ce rôle.
Okay, so before I asked their take, they were just nodding their head. There was a lot of murmuring and Fine, let them get to tell us about themselves. So I'm going to start with him because it's my first time of meeting him in person. And like I said, I was so excited when he said, Lyonga, I'm going to be there. What time and day? Tell me. Ladies and gentlemen, I serve you the manager of Lion Productions. Yes, you'll be hearing Lion Productions, which is owned by Mr. Leo. This is him, honey. Hello, Divine.
Hi, Lyonga.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you, honestly.
Yeah, it's an honor.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Divine Verkijka. Of course, I'm the manager for Lion Productions. I'm also Mr. Leo's manager, artist manager.
Wow.
I run an artist services agency called Mutumbu.
Okay.
I'm project manager for the Lions Academy project, which is a project by Mr. Leo to support the industry in terms of education, because we saw there's a great gap in the education space for the music industry. And I have over about 15 years in the industry.
Amazing.
And I've done a lot of different projects within that time. I also handle digital licensing and international relations for Sonacam, which is the music copyright.
So you're the right person there, because a lot of artists I'm talking about Sonacam. Sonacam is not giving us right money. Sonacam is giving us 5,000. Oh, so it's you are finished.
Before then, I was a rapporteur for Programs Commission, still at the same Sonacam.
Wow.
With Sanfang Toma now, with Atebazo, and yeah.
Jesus Christ, baby, this is a legend. Oh, I didn't know. This is an amazing, I'm so excited. Like, I'm more overly excited. Now let's talk finance. Renee, I'm going to get you, but I see you every day. Let me focus on it. Now let's talk finance. How has it been so far? How profitable has this venture been for you?
For me, I'm making a living, if I can put it that way.
Okay.
I don't really know what you mean by that. In terms of...
I'm talking about in terms of the consumer industry. Is there money? Because we see artists complaining every now and then, you know.
I mean, what would someone be doing in an industry where there's no money?
Okay.
Like, there's definitely money. There's far more potential than what we are realizing.
Okay.
But yeah, there's money in the industry, and it may not be what Americans have or what Europeans have, but it is a lot of people are making a living out of the industry in Cameroon. And of course, just a side note, when I started in the industry, I started as an artist, and just to say that averagely there are more than 70 professions within the industry, and so there's enough space for a lot of people, because sometimes everybody feels like you have to be an artist or even the lead artist before things get moving. I mean, there's
amazing.
At least 70 that we have identified within Cameroon.
70?
Yeah. And by the way, my agency will be publishing, in partnership with an Indian research firm, we'll be publishing a report on the 12th of October about the Cameroon music market.
So I hope you're going to give us a little bit before you go, yeah?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so Rene, tell us about you.
Well, not a stranger. Everybody knows Rene Immortal.
Yeah.
I'm a music business consultant, you know, talent developer, A&R, you know, artist manager. Yeah. And I also run my independent agency, also Rimplug One, that does a lot of industry services for artists, and also trying to educate them in so many aspects.
Very well. So I'm going to give you a minute to sell yourself. Tell us about the Rimplug One. What are the services that you're offering?
Yeah, Rimplug One. The Rimplug One is also offering orientation about the music industry and the business. We also assist people for distribution, connecting them with publishing, do them registration with Global Collective Management Society. I mean, we provide the 360 of the music industry services needed by anybody who's supposed to get into the industry. It also helps to start up careers for artists who want to get into the industry. We're trying to set you a trajectory path for you to follow and build up your career gradually as you go on. Okay, very well.
Now, you all have seen what Only Nobody had to say, right? Let's start with you. What's your take?
I think first of all, when I look at the numbers he's talking about, we need to understand that Cameroon is a different market from Nigeria. Even the richest man in Cameroon is nowhere near the richest man in Nigeria. So I think it's not so appropriate to give that kind of comparison. And then technically there's a lot of mix-up in terms of sometimes a lot of people don't understand, as I was talking about the 70 up to 70 professions or even more within the industry. People don't seem to understand exactly who does what and what law covers what, and when you're coming with that kind of mixed up information, for example, it's difficult to have a coherent exchange. For example, while a collective management organization like Sonacam is responsible strictly for collecting and distributing songwriter and publisher royalties, they are not an opportunity sourcing organization, so they can't go out to like license songs for movies or those type of things. If you work with a publisher, on the other hand, as a songwriter, a publisher is a private business that takes your songs and then goes out to look for opportunities for your songs on the condition that, you know, there's an exchange, you know, he gets something in return. How does, what is a collective management organization basically? When you write a song, whether lyrics or melody, or you are a publisher of a song, wherever that song is used, before the song is used in any condition, it needs your license. But then there are many songwriters, there are many songs, and then there are many avenues or venues where songs are used. I take, for example, myself. I administer Leo's catalog. Every bar in Cameroon plays Mr. Leo. So do I have to go out alone and start negotiating and seeing who is playing the songs in the bar and say pay me? So it means I'm going to spend all my time doing that.
True.
So what does the law provide? The law provides that songwriters and their representatives, the publishers, create an association, and then the association jointly submit their works to the association or organization, and then the organization recruits the staff and negotiates contracts for public use of the collective works of that organization. So instead of me going to a bar to negotiate and moving 20, 30 bars, we give the works to Sonacam, and then Sonacam goes to one bar, not only to represent my artists, but to represent all artists and all the songs that are in their catalog. So basically, when we're even complaining about collective management in Cameroon, the tendency is that we want to blame the government. But as I just explained, the artists themselves, the board, before Sanfang Thomas, we had Odingaska Sokam. Before Odingaska, the president was Sam Bende. Before Sam Bende, we had Manu Dibango. Before Manu Dibango, we had Esoe Somba. Eyango tried, and there was some mix-up. Now we have Atebazo. And the whole board of directors is songwriters and publishers. Then they recruit staff in the office that are experts, like lawyers, accountants, and marketing people that can go out and negotiate contracts and the rest. So that's how it functions. And the policy, the General Assembly is songwriters. So they are the ones that determine whatever happens. There's a copyright law in Cameroon which gives like general orientation, but the whole process is almost like a credit union. You understand? So in this if things are not moving about that, or if people feel things are not moving about that, I would say it's 99% the responsibility of the rights holders. It's like you have your land and you're blaming somebody else for
trespassing and all. Okay, Rene, give us your take.
Yeah, like just what he has explained. You understand? The thing is, most times people trying to blame the organization, but blaming the organization, they themselves don't know that they're supposed to be part of the organization.
Exactly.
Because they make up the organization. And the thing here is, sometimes people register with the organization and they don't submit their works, because if you don't submit your works to the organization, how can the organization collect the royalties that you are seeking for? They won't. And you're supposed to be a member of that organization to be paid. To be eligible. That's why you gather all these right holders. You give your rights to the organization that, okay, take care of this, manage me these rights, so that I should make money out of my right. Because just like what he said, if you are the one that is going around Cameroon, that you go and be meeting every bar owner, every hotel, and everywhere that music is being used, you will not even have that energy.
That's true.
So that's why this collective management society, they are always there in every nation. You go there, they have this collective management society. So as an artist, as a songwriter, and as a publisher, you have to belong to those your local collective management society, before you'll be thinking that, okay, oh, my music. Sometimes you hear some people, I have a hit. My music is hitting all over Cameroon. But at the end of the day, are you a member of Sonacam?
Exactly.
You are not a member, but you are going to sign collective management deal with BMI or ASCAP. Those are operating in American territory. And your music is not even yet blowing in America. You understand? And Sonacam, like a local collective management society, they have reciprocal agreement with some of these other collective management society, because it's a territorial business. You understand? Because Sonacam, if Sonacam don't have reciprocal agreement, you cannot go to another territory and collect royalties for your members. So they have to build. They are building a system of having so many reciprocal agreements with almost about 50 or 60 collective management society. And the problem most times, artists in Cameroon always complain about their local collective management society. The thing is, what makes up a collective management society is the right owners. So if you just sit back and be complaining about Sonacam and how Sonacam is not doing this, Sonacam do, what have you done? Are you a member of the society? Are you there into trying to like make things change? No, everybody just sit and complain. But if you look at the whole thing, Sonacam is actually trying, you know, for the power that they have, because one, Sonacam is not getting government subsidies. Nobody is subsidizing Sonacam. They don't have external funds to run the organization.
Okay. 20%.
Yes. They cut 20% from what they collect and run the administrative costs. That's why even in the publishing sector, when a publisher collects all your royalties, he also have a percentage in it. Even a publishing company does that. Even the BMI there, they are registered. Most of these other collective management society, before they were free. But now all of them has a membership fee that you have to go in and pay that membership fee, then does all your registration. I've met people who are registered with BMI, ASCAP and other collective management. You go inside their database, you don't even see their songs. So you just go there and register, I'm a member of this, but your works are not even registered inside the database of the system.
Now I have a question for you. My last question, based on what was from Tony Nobody, is it safe to say to you, is there showbiz in Cameroon or there is no showbiz in Cameroon based on the teachings of Tony Nobody?
Well, based on what he's trying to explain, he's explaining showbiz on the musical context of it. But show business is not only about music. Music is just one of the pillars inside the showbiz. When you're talking about show business, right, it concerns other industries that are involved in the show business. So if you say there's no show business...
When you say industries, I need you to be more explicit. What do you...
When I say industries, right, there is a media industry in Cameroon, right? You have TV stations, you have radio stations, you know, you have other independent media that runs entertainment. You know, you have music marketers, you know, streaming platform, local streaming platform, right? You have event organizers. You have the corporate side that does event. There is a showbiz system in Cameroon, but what is lacking is just the chain, the mechanism, like to structure the system to operate as an industry. Because an industry, what is a music industry? An industry is made up of other sub-industries. So the thing is, how can we chain all these sub-industries to make it look effective so that when you come to Cameroon, you know that, okay, there is a music industry in Cameroon, because when you chain all this, you started seeing the infrastructure started popping up. So that you know that, okay, I want to register my music for copyright and all those stuff. There's a copyright bureau in Yaoundé where if you don't register your music with Sonacam to handle your copyright to collect revenues, there is a copyright agency in Yaoundé that you go there and endorse your copyright, and you have a certificate that you have copyrighted those music, just like what they are doing in America. A collective management can take your song, but it's not actually protecting it 100% until you go to americancopyright.gov and register your works there as an author, as a writer, even in movies. Then they'll issue you a certificate, so that in case of any copyright infringement, that's why when copyright infringement always comes out, they don't collect the copyright infringement that is from the collective management society. They ask you, where did you register the work? Did you register it with the copyright bureau? If you register with the copyright bureau, they just go there and take the document, and if they realize that the case are almost similar, the songs are almost similar, then you have a case that you win. You understand? So when you're talking about showbiz, it's not only about the music industry. Show business is a chain of other industries that makes up the showbiz. So if you say that there's no showbiz in Cameroon, you know, I don't think so. If it's, for me, if you say that, okay, actually, there is no musical infrastructure visible in Cameroon, like, but when you generalize it like showbiz, there's showbiz now. Even him, Tony Nobody talking, he has been surviving in the showbiz. So let's just face the fact. But it's just that we need to, if we want, let's say we don't have an organized system, right? Because when we have an organized system, there will be conferences, music business conferences, different conferences of different aspects. Because the music industry is all, like I said, it's a subsidiary of other industries.
Very well. Now, Divine, let's get your own take. Is there showbiz in Cameroon?
Definitely. He just explained it. There's showbiz in Cameroon. Whether it's structured enough or not, it's a debate for maybe another day. And even the question of structure, whose responsibility is it? Because sometimes people feel like when we talk of structure, it's something that's supposed to live from up and come down. It's like the government, it's like this. I just explained a simple example to you how Sonacam functions. And there you see that the artists are the ultimate decision makers. They vote the general assemblies, how many people attend them. When they are voting the text, things like that, how many people go in to say, okay, but these are the laws we want within the organization and stuff like that. So even in terms of, I think probably, which is already areas that on our own end we are trying to address, there's a deep issue with education. We don't have like schools or whatnot where you can go and study maybe the industry, like a music industry, for example, in general or specific aspects of the industry. So like almost everybody is coming into it blind and trying to do their best. Basically, for example, in a normal industry, I don't know, to get like music business would be maybe you need like a master's degree in music business, assuming that you have like a bachelor's in maybe regular management or whatever. Then you a master's degree in music business to be able to say that you can you master the business. I'm not saying that everybody has to go to school and do that. I'm just saying that for business. Of course, we take copyright, for example. When you create a piece of work, you're already the rights holder, not so. Except that it's lawyers that understand law, you know, and copyright and stuff. So you find yourself being an artist, but with responsibilities that need maybe a master's degree in law for full application or understanding. And we can't sit here and pretend that, you know, others, that in Cameroon there are enough people, and it's costly. It's costly.
Yeah, it's costly.
I, for one, I think when Rene was talking about reciprocal agreements, we started some great stuff together.
Yeah, 2019.
Definitely. I'm responsible for I spoke about digital licensing and international relations, for example. It means that every single reciprocal agreement that Sonacam, and in other words, the Cameroonian artists or songwriters and their publishers have with any country out of Cameroon, I am responsible for. You have to negotiate the contracts, you have to follow up the relations, and digital licensing, what does that mean? It means that every digital platform that is operating within the space or that is using our works, I have to be in direct contact with. So whether you're talking about your Spotify's, your YouTube's, your all of that, please don't contact me. I only do it professionally for the company. We don't do any business directly with artists, just to be
it's
clear.
For the organization.
It's for the organization.
I see.
Because I know artists will be like, can you plug me and stuff like that. No, we don't do that.
Yeah, because Sonacam has a reciprocal agreement with Capasso in South Africa. And Capasso is the one in charge of African digital licensing. So everything that is happening within the African music ecosystem, Capasso is responsible. So Sonacam has succeeded of having that reciprocal agreement with Capasso, which means Cameroonian artists, their digital royalties is coming through South Africa to Sonacam. But now, the artists supposed to be members of Sonacam,
and to register their works.
Okay.
So that revenue can be collected.
I have a question, yes? I have a question in regards to Sonacam, since you both know so much about it.
Yeah.
But the first thing I wanted to talk about, because of course there's Sonacam, okay, you can help them get royalties and all. I had Mr. Leo, he spoke about us not having a structure.
Yeah.
My question is this: how can we build a structure? Because obviously, if we three are seated here, is to better the industry, right? So the first thing, what does it take? What are the things that we need to do in order to build a structure?
There's education. There's no way we can go around the education aspect. I give you a simple example. An average Cameroonian musician, we like to say we want to export our culture, right?
Yeah.
An average Cameroonian musician, in my experience, especially in urban music, doesn't have any training in music theory, cannot play a musical instrument, and has never had any training in vocal, on the voice, which is his or her main instrument. We are talking about musicians here, not even to go to managers and others. Okay, when you put on the other side an American artist or European artist, these are people whom from kindergarten or nursery school already have basic music training, and till maybe end of secondary school or something. And worst of all, those who really end up professionalizing may do music, may study music right up to like a college degree or sometimes a master's. You have your Kanye West, your Nicki Minaj, and others. Those are people from art school, for example. But those are professionals. Let me come to those that are not professionals, right? The general public out there already has more music training than our music professionals. So it means that even the public's level of appreciating music is already different from our professionals' level of exercising, which already is an issue in terms of structuring, or structures we're talking about. So we are looking at there's already a lot of people that are in the pot of soup. How do you bring education to that space? Is capacity building, is conferences, workshops, shorter programs, because nobody is going to abandon their life and daily bread to go back and sit, you know, in a full classroom. So you use some of those techniques, but then we can say, okay, for primary schools, maybe we get programs that you know, it doesn't mean everybody that goes through is going to become an artist. But
so it means we're talking about the base. Let's start on the base.
The base.
We're solving the base and also trying to solve the current chaos, you know, because. And it's a lot of different areas. Like, for example, even a very key problem that I see is people expect that structure begins from somewhere else. The first structure is you becoming a professional. I take an example. When you go to a bank, right? You don't need the client, you don't need to be a professional. But because the bank is professional, you're conditioned to function in a certain way.
Yeah. Okay, so there's that order you have to follow that very well.
If we get the industry actors themselves first to be professional, it means that between each other there are contracts, between each other there are rules and regulations on how you yourself, you set those rules. Nobody's coming to set them for you. How you're going to deal with others. If you're working with a film, a video producer, you make sure there's contracts that detail how you're going and things like that. When you start functioning like that, the structure starts coming in place.
Now, Renee, we're running out of time. I want you to tell us real quick. So you just cited, how can we build a structure?
Yeah, like what you just said, coming up from structuring, right? Like people expect that the structure will just fall from the sky and be there, right? The thing is, we need to identify the various mechanisms.
Exactly.
You know, because when we identify the various mechanisms, it's not only about the government. You understand? The government is there to open the field to be more liberal so that things should operate, right? You come now with the private sectors. But we need to identify all these chain that involves in the music industry, the publishing, by creating syndicates.
Yeah.
Because when we started creating that syndicate, that means we are already establishing pillars of the industry.
True.
Because as it is now, when you ask, where is the Recording Industry Association of Cameroon?
Yeah.
There is none.
Yeah.
When you come, Songwriters Association of Cameroon, there is none.
The issue is when you ask where are the record labels,
where are the
they
record,
are not, before
first of
even
all,
creating an association.
before creating an association, where are the record labels?
Professional record
where are the managers, you understand? So when we identify all these pillars that forms of an industry, then we started creating all these syndicates. Everybody knows where they belong, where they fall.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can do all, but you have somewhere that is your niche, that you professionalize on. Then we also, when we get that, then we also focus on start building grassroots education. Because like what he said, people will have time to go to the classroom and all this stuff, but we need to be creating more workshops, more music conferences, more seminars.
Okay.
Because when we create these seminars, professionals from other industry will be coming in. That already we are establishing some kind of music tourism. Because if it's in Cameroon, we have, let's say at the end of the year, we have about 15 to 17 workshops, conferences with different aspects of the music industry. Professionals comes in. With that also, we are establishing, like, showcasing what we have to the people who are coming in the country. And once they see that, it's very easy for us now to actually export whatsoever we want to export. Because when they come in, they'll know that there's a whole lot of diversity of sound within Cameroon. But if we don't have those stuff, all those things, like those conferences are not there, you know, everywhere you organize it sometimes, utilizing your own resources, people don't, the people who are concerned in the industry don't even attend.
Okay. Yeah.
Because sometimes everybody just have the notion that, okay, I can go to YouTube and watch 1 or 2 videos and I'm good, you know. But when it comes now to operating practically in the field, it becomes a problem. So for me, there have to be more of capacity building and more education, how the industry functions. Everybody is in the industry, but not everybody understands how the industry functions.
That's true.
It's just like you have the industry, then you have the music business. Because the industry supply the product to do business. So if you don't understand the product that you have, how can you utilize it to do business?
To generate income. Now, those who are hearing us, let's say to the newcomers, you're welcome and said, let's talk about royalties. I need you to define, what are royalties?
Actually, royalties comes in with the expectation of copyright of what the creative has produced. And royalties have different form of royalties. Because like I said, there's always a saying that wherever the music is being paid, somebody must get paid. You understand? So royalties is like a compensation for the work that we have created when it is going for public consumption. You know, that's why you have public performance royalties. That is those kind of royalties that radios, television, you know, and other popular sport like bars and all those things, those are public performance royalties. Then you have mechanical royalties, which is coming from the digital aspect, like for YouTube and all those other streaming platforms. They have sync royalties. Those sync royalties now comes in as when somebody takes your music and put it on maybe on a movie and all those stuff. Then you also have sheet music that prints music. Like if somebody takes your lyrics now and trying to develop it like in a catalog of books with your lyrics and everything, and is selling them. Also, that's the person is making money out of your creative. So there are various forms of royalties, but now it's how you identify those royalties, how you can actually make money out of it. Music business is a lucrative business when you do it right, because copyright exploitation is what makes up the music business. So you cannot be in a business and you don't understand how to exploit to generate revenue. There are various revenue streams inside the music industry. You can make money in different forms, but now you have to understand and get yourself educated how those revenues can come into your pocket, because the royalties has a chain that it moves from that chain until it comes to the pocket of the creators and goes to the pocket of the label and everything. It's not only the artist who eats from royalties. You know, it's not only the songwriters, the producers, the beat makers, the record labels, you know, the publishers, you know, everybody has a percentage in it.
Very well. Now, Divine, let me ask you, over time, as a result of my platform, I've spoken with a lot of artists. They find it difficult to make money. What are some of those things that most of our artists do not understand as far as royalties are concerned and collection? How can they collect it and all whatnot? How can they make money from what they are doing?
For example, right, when you guys were speaking of royalties, one key distinction is, for example, the songwriter royalties are different from sound recording royalties. Okay. Which means, for example, sound recording royalties will go to the person who sings and the person who owns the record, so the record label and the singer. When I was talking about the different professions in the music industry, it's important because the law recognizes each of those things separately and treats them separately. So if you're a typical Cameroonian artist, you're probably a songwriter, you're a performer, and if you're independently produced, you're a record label at the same time. And the law will recognize you as three different people. And you have to treat each of those three people differently because their interests are not necessarily the same.
Okay.
That's already something to and each of those things is a full career in other industries, just to be clear.
Wow.
Each of if you're a songwriter in America, you're fine. If you're a singer, somebody like Whitney Houston, I'm not sure she wrote
half of her catalog is not written by her.
She didn't write, like, you know, there are people like who just keep writing
like the
songs.
stems the artist.
Exactly. It's a lot of work just to become a singer. People think you just sleep in your house and drink your beer, eat your fufu, come on.
And the lyrics just start popping. Okay, I see.
Or even come on stage and just deliver, you know, like. I want to, you know, how did Michael Jackson die? Painkiller overdose, right? Because of rehearsals. Like he was rehearsing for his tour. That's how intense the career of a performer as a singer is. We have not gone to his career as a songwriter. Your career as a singer is. So it's already so much work if you have to be a singer. It's already so much work if you have to be a songwriter. And sometimes even songwriters, you can be an author and you're not a composer. Like a lot of the cases in Cameroon, what we call beat makers. People generally want to call them producers. But their primary role is composers, because the law recognizes them as composers. Why? Because they contribute melody to the song.
Oh.
You understand? And a song is lyrics and melody. Okay. So in Cameroon, probably one of the first things you have to do is music is intellectual property. Let's remove the intellectual, because intellectual just describes the type of property. So it's property, like a land, like a house, like a car, whatever you can. When you have a land, what do you do? When you give birth to a child, what do you do? There's a birth certificate. These guys work in the studio and they don't have a split sheet between themselves. They don't have any sort of written and signed agreement. So the song comes, the child is born, but the child doesn't have any birth certificate. Consequently, it will be complicated for the child to have an ID card. It will be complicated for the child to have a passport. It will be complicated for the child to travel international.
And so on and so forth. Okay, so they have told us that we have 10 more minutes. This is how we're going to do it. Real quick, yes? Let's talk about Sonakam. Magasco came one time and he said, that's Sonakam. The day I will address them. You are there. First of all, what is Sonakam? We have newcomers in our industry. They don't even know. They just hear Sonakam. So real quick, let's start with you because you're part of them. What is Sonakam and what are some of their responsibilities? And how does it function there?
Okay. So Sonakam is a collective management organization in Cameroon. The only collective management organization in Cameroon that handles songwriters and publishers and covers public performance and mechanical royalties in Cameroon. And the role for Sonakam is simple. We collect royalties and we redistribute them back to the songwriters and the publishers.
Very well. How are royalties collected?
Within the SONACAM system? Yeah, within the SONACAM system, just like every territory operates with their own way based on the law that exists in the country, right? SONACAM have the license to collect royalties because in Cameroon, I think what the problem we have in Cameroon is just due to data collection. Yes, because we don't have tracking data how the music is faring publicly, right? So they have a system that the license that they collect for music is coming from sometimes from the pattern to from some different places. So every entertainment spot in Cameroon has a music levy that they pay to SONACAM for utilizing content. Whether you utilize whether you don't play Cameroon music or you play it, you will still pay that levy. Same thing with the telco companies. That's the telecommunication companies. They have a blank license that they pay to SONACAM. So what SONACAM does, SONACAM goes around, you know, to be collecting these royalties from different places. Just because we haven't got yet a sophisticated, digitalized system where every spot will be registered with a back end that is coming directly to SONACAM. Radio stations also, TV stations also, they have the levies that they pay. So sometimes when somebody say my song is hit all over the place, and it's not only SONACAM that is in there, they have about 4 collective management society, right? That also utilize those, they also take from the budget that SONACAM is collecting. They share percentages. So before,
makers,
photographers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Writers,
So, and if you realize now, SONACAM is generating the highest revenue, more than those other collective management society. But when it comes now, those collective society are still collecting percentages from what SONACAM is generating.
Just so I add, singers and record labels are not part of SONACAM. They have a different collective management organization, which is called SCDV in Cameroon. Just to be clear.
What does it stand for?
That's neighboring rights. Where you have all these dancers, you know, session musicians and all those stuff. So that is where they have their own society that collects for them. But SONACAM does the general collection.
How productive is it? Because if you were to ask artists, they will tell you that SONACAM is, in a way, exploit. It doesn't give them their worth. When each time SONACAM distributes, you see artists will come and say, oh, can you imagine, SONACAM gave me 15,000. Because SONACAM gave me 50,000. SONACAM, Anya Anzua, she complained the other time. We all saw that. So how does it function? Tell us.
I mean, like, you're paid according to how your works have been used. And if you don't declare your works, the system will not manufacture. Like, and there's like, you have to declare your works. That's the first. You declare them, and then you're paid according to how your works are used. SONACAM may not have as complex softwares maybe as other countries, but they have mechanisms for calculating stuff like that. And sometimes artists just expect that maybe because I was popular, I need to be paid all the time, you know. But music trends differ. Like, this year this can be hot, and then sometimes something is hot this year but it pays but next year, because the process of collecting is slow. You have to negotiate with the various places and collect and accounting and all of that. So the payment always comes later.
Okay.
And I don't really
let's talk about the way forward real quick. How does SONACAM plans on bettering the entertainment industry and making sure that our artists get their worth?
I think artists are depending too much. SONACAM has a simple role: collect and distribute. Redistribute.
So that's it.
Developing the industry is a problem of artists and those who want to build the industry.
SONACAM has already exists as a pillar.
Exactly.
That is what the
to collect your money.
That is the first pillar. So now from SONACAM we can build other pillars.
Exactly.
To align it with SONACAM. So it's not a work of SONACAM building the industry.
That's even one thing that's destroyed Cameroon so much, is because people abandon everything they are doing and want to come and throw their life problems at SONACAM.
So SONACAM is not responsible then?
No, SONACAM is not responsible for their career. Let me, just to be clear, right? If SONACAM doesn't do its job, as a member, you have the right to sue Sonacam. So if you think that you are capable, that you have a case, do it. Right now, Sonacam is having cases against MTN, Orange, Camtel, because they, for payment and stuff.
Yeah.
Because Sonacam understands its rights and the rights of its members. Let me give you an example. I handle digital licensing. Every quarter, every 3 months, digital platforms send us the log of works that have been consumed in their system. And when we have identified our works, they don't send us the works again. So they send us the works that have been consumed in our territory but have not been identified. If you come to the office and open, you're going to see every Cameroonian name that you can imagine. And sometimes with the amounts on it. But where have you ever seen? Matter for PG, man, you can follow man for can't give money. It doesn't happen.
So they have to come.
You have to know, and there's the black box, right? If you stay for 3 years without collecting money, the money is taken and redistributed to the members.
So there's a black box.
That's the national law.
Like how many Cameroonian artists' rights are in Sonacam that they have never come for? Tell us.
How many?
Some they are not even members of
a huge number. A huge number.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. I actually manage how the transaction of the works, and we are like less than 5% in terms of coverage of works, in terms of artists that have adequately declared works and who declare their works that are up to date, which consequently means that the amount we collect from some of these platforms cannot be reasonable.
Yeah,
so I think it's really up to the artists. And then those who just blindly go and register in foreign countries, it even makes the situation complex for you, because we don't have, once you register, if you don't do it properly, once you register with a foreign company, it means Sonacam will take your money and send to that foreign company before the foreign company pays you. So you could be sitting thinking that you're registered in the US and you're getting your money, but your money has to work.
If I never get to you, when you start moving from one country to another, you'll never collect it.
It's a whole ecosystem.
Because that was the same thing. That was the problem the South African music industry was having. You understand? Because after all the thing, they carry chunks of royalties, sending it to America, to UK, and everything, and their artists are not making any progress when it comes to royalties. That is why now they bring the law of 95/5. That is consummation of local content more within South Africa, so that they shouldn't be sending all those money, because at the end of the day they are losing. So that's why the 95/5 quota comes in. Because when they consume 95, the artists who are in South Africa, they are making money and keeping the money in South Africa. So they are just giving.
So that's how our own 80/20 comes into place.
That is 80/20.
You don't want to talk about it, do you?
I will not say that 80/20 is not a bad thing, but if we're supposed to implement the 80/20, right? It will favor the creatives, but it's how to organize it and make it like something that can favor the creative. Everybody who is creating, because it's like we consume, it's not just because we are listening to Cameroon music, then that's you are patriotic. No, but you have to think, how will that generate revenue for the people who are creating those products? Because people who pirate stuff, they'll pirate stuff.
That's exactly what I wanted to say, that I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Because the structures are not in place. And there's a key problem with why we can't have structures. When you look at even like the unions he was talking about, in my 15 or more years in the industry, I've been part of all kinds of movements that you can imagine. Copyright in Cameroon is made up of unions and associations and associations. And most associations and unions hardly last. Why? Because a union requires that its members should contribute. Sometimes artists will become members, but they don't want to contribute. Consequently, the leaders have to start spending their own money to be doing things that will be not
beneficial
that will have to benefit everybody. And nobody wants to waste his time doing that. For example, I was part of the Pole Arm musical with Wax Day, for example, and I resigned from it simply because I was spending my expertise, my time, and a lot of that. You have to lobbying is expensive.
Lobbying is expensive.
In the US and in Europe, why lobbying works is because the major labels like Sony, Universal, and the others are so big. They control like 80% of the market share. So when they invest in lobbying, it's because there's actually a reasonable return for them. You understand? And even the independent artists have learned to unite and contribute so that their unions can lobby for them. But in Cameroon, even the unions artists don't join, and when they join, they don't contribute. So at the end of the day, it makes things a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. Very well. So we have come to the end of this episode. Yes. Before we go, I'm going to give you one minute each. This is your time to educate Cameroonian artists and the Cameroonian population. So I'm going to start with you, Renee. Yes. So as far as royalties are concerned, what are those things artists need to know instead of complaining every day on social media? What are those things they are not doing right, and what solutions do you have for them? So you're going to take a look at the camera and educate them.
No, they just need to get their paperwork right, because when you are getting into any business, you have to know that if I have to make something out of the business, you have to get some paperwork. So as an artist, you want to release a song, you have to make sure you register your song. You have to make sure you belong to a collective management society so that your rights should not be infringed with. You just follow the due procedures, but most times they don't want to follow the procedures. They just want to take it and put it on YouTube. So I will advise them, get yourself educated, understand the business you are in, because you cannot go and say you want to do tomato business and you don't know how the business of tomato is functioning in the market. So educate yourself, understand the business, realize that when you are in the studio, you are the creative person. Immediately you are out of the studio with that product, it becomes a business. So educate yourself, understand all the various chains, how the music industry work, how the royalty section work. So that is it.
Okay, very well. Your turn.
Definitely artists should get education. I'm with Renee on that. Get education. If you want to spend your whole life doing something, spend a year at least to learn it. If you're going to spend 100 million in a business, why not take $1 million from it and do market research or some education in it? And if you have already found yourself in it, try to work with professionals. If you can't learn everything on your own, try to work with professionals. If you write a song, make sure you have a contract with the beat maker. Make sure you have a contract with the record label. Make sure you declare the works with your collective management. Make sure you're active in your collective management. Don't just declare works and disappear. Make sure you attend general assemblies. Make sure you vote for the type of leaders you want. If there are common activities that need to happen, whether that need artists show up, make sure you join regular artist associations, because there will be extra information or extra stuff that may be useful to your career that you would not have in other places. And above all, be responsible.
Period.
Yeah.
Be responsible. Okay, you all. So that was it on today's edition of Hall of Fame with Dali Lyonga, the best special. We're talking about royalties, how to generate it, how it's being collected, the challenges and all whatnot. And of course, we cited the importance of Sonacam, some of their challenges, and of course, how they help to better the entertainment industry. And there's one take-home message: you have to educate yourself, endeavor to attend seminars. Okay, you're never too big. Honestly, I've witnessed music business classes. A lot of artists do not attend. You feel too big to go. Oh, I know way too much. Or sometimes you feel like your manager should be part of that seminar and not you. You ought to know as well, okay? Educate yourself. Take good care of your craft, honey. Take good care of it. That's your source of living. It's not about having passion for something. That passion should be able to put food on your table. I hope you learned something today. I'm going to see you next time. And next time, honey, I want to talk about record label contracts. I'm going to bring him. I would drag him here and bring him. Yeah. You see that Lion Productions is one of the major record labels and they have a lot of drama. So I would drag Divine. If we have to take our cameras to Divine's house, we will do that. We will talk about Askia, Kameni, Gomez, Mr. Leo. I'm going to need a lawyer and bodyguards.
You need a lawyer.
Okay, well, so that was it on today's edition. I hope you're highly entertained. Endeavor to follow me on social media. I am Darling Lyonga Official on Facebook, TikTok, Lyonga Darling, Instagram, Lyonga_Darling. I'm going to see you next time. Bye.